Have you ever used a flipper zero or a HackRF to get up to some mischief? Then I have a question for you. Do you think you broke the law? Okay, so that intro might have been a little bit baity, and I apologise about that. But I was recently having a discussion with somebody on social media around the use of flipper zeros to pop Tesla charging ports. Now, I'm sure we've all seen the videos of people prattling about with Teslas and making the charging port open. It's a really simple case of just broadcasting a signal from something that's capable of transmitting said signal, and any Tesla in the area that hears said signal will open its charging port. Now, the reason that works is because when you unplug the charging handle from a charging point, it broadcasts a signal. The charger just spits out said signal. Teslas are listening to it. They know it's time to charge. They open the charging port. Nom, nom, nom. Juice goes in. But if I was to capture that signal and replay it with the Flipper Zero or my HackRF, what laws have I broken? It's an unlicensed frequency band, so it's an unlicensed channel. I'm using it at less than licensable powers, providing I'm using the flipper. If I'm using the HackRF, you're getting into questionable territory there, but I am a licensed ham, so I can use devices, providing I use them within whatever the frequency allocation allows and my license allows. But the Flipper Zero is an FCC certified approved device that is sold on the market and doesn't breach in normal out-of-the-box configuration, shouldn't breach any regional specific laws as far as I'm aware with regards to transmissions, as long as you don't do anything stupid with it. So if I capture and replay that signal, and let's not just say for argument's sake the Tesla one, here in the UK we have a disabled access button for automatically opening electronic doors. You push the button, the electronic doors open. It's so that people in wheelchairs and stuff can open the buttons. That button, when pressed, broadcasts a signal. You can capture that signal, you can replay that signal, and the doors will open. It's not a rolling code, it's just a fixed signal. I believe they do this as well so that if anybody has specific accessibility requirements, they can have a button on their mobility device, on their wheelchair or whatnot. So again, if I was to capture this fairly benign signal and replay it and open doors, what laws am I breaking? So I've looked into it. And as far as I can tell, it's not covered by the Computer Misuse Act. It's also not technically covered by the Wireless Telegraphy Act. Telegraphy? You know what I mean. It's not covered by that act either. You're not causing damage. You're not denying anybody access to anything. I mean, for the charger one, for example, on the Teslas, the moment you put the car in a drive mode, it closes the charging port. So it's not as if I'm opening it while somebody's driving. It can only be opened while the vehicle is stationary. And again, with the door one, I'm only opening doors. I'm not keeping them closed. I'm not preventing a door from being used as a door. So what laws, if any, is it covered under? There's no damage. It's completely benign. It's, if anything, it's mischief. But again, there's no damage. So genuinely, I'm asking a question. What law is it breaking, if any? Because as far as I can tell from what I've looked at, it's not breaking any. You're not unlawfully gaining access to somebody else's system because you're not gaining access to any system. You're broadcasting a signal and other systems that can hear that signal respond accordingly. So I'm not unlawfully gaining access to somebody else's system. I'm not gaining access to a secured network because it's not secure. And I'm not gaining access to an unsecured network without the owner's consent. I'm broadcasting a signal and things are responding accordingly. So genuine question for anybody who knows, and I think this is a really good question to ask because there are a lot of people out there who blanketly go, that's illegal, you shouldn't be doing that, you're committing a crime. And then there are people out there who don't know whether it is or it isn't. And there are also people who don't care if it is. I'm one of the people who I genuinely do care, and I've looked into it, and for everything that I've read, I can't think of a single law that definitively says if you replay a signal from this that does a specific thing, whether it opens an accessible door or whether it opens a charging port on a Tesla. I can't find anything that says that if I do that, I'm anything more than just a dick, which I appreciate. You know, it's a stupid thing to do. People who, I mean, I've seen people turn the amps on these and blast that fucking signal out, and everything within, you know, close proximity suddenly opens its charging ports. I've also seen people use a HackRF to replay the door opening code, and electric doors everywhere are just opening. but I can't use that to unlawfully gain entry. So again, I ask the question, does anybody know what laws have been broken, if any at all? Because I genuinely have no idea. And I think it should be a conversation. I think we should talk about it. And that's not to say that you can't do illegal things with a flipper. You absolutely can. You can accidentally do a lot of illegal things with a flipper. There's a lot of kids online that are plugging them in and doing USB HID attacks on school computer systems. And again, computer misuse and similar laws come into play there. I honestly, personally, I don't believe popping Tesla charging ports or opening accessible electronic doors is a crime. It's mischievous. It's really low-key douchebag move. But is it criminal? I don't think so. Let's talk about it. Let's have a discussion. You let me know your thoughts below. And if you have any references to existing case law or statutes, any law or regulation that you can think that would be covered, let me know. Let me know and we'll talk about it. Bear in mind, I'm talking about in the UK. If there are any specific American laws or anything like that for the country that you reside in, please put in the comments, say, I live in this country and I think this law would apply. Because I've looked through the ones in the UK and I'm not convinced that it's Computer Misuse Act, Wireless Telegraphy Act. I'm not sure which act it would come under. Not that I would want to argue it in front of a judge or a jury of my peers. I think that would be, why are we doing that? Because I'm a dick. I don't think anybody will be sympathetic towards you if it did go to court. But I'm just wondering if it did, what sort of charges would you be looking at? What laws would they be trying to say you broke? Genuinely curious. Let's have a conversation about it anyway. Let's find out.